I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is Hearts Alive by Mastodon.
This is a live one.
Yeah, it looks like... I'm looking at that picture. It looks like Moby Dick.
Oh.
You know, the big giant whale or whatever.
Moby Dick. I think I saw that on a movie one time. They were like saying it like that.
Fine.
Moby Dick. Anyway, this is for the big homie Alan.
Shout out to the big homie Alan. This is for the big homie Alan. For timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up in Middle America with Vin and Sori. There are multiple ways to get your song reviewed, dear listener. My favorite is the community option, $1 to get you in at Patreon, where you will then be met up with all your favorite friends and all the village sort of Maine staples. The big homie Ian, Leah of the village, all those wonderful, beautiful people. So we were supposed to do like the presidential debates, but I think all those are canceled now because our president is nuclear, which is very interesting. But shout out to Trump praying for the big homie, because we don't wish death on anyone, because we're the good guys. So there's that.
At least some of us are.
Now, if you're a filthy capitalist like Sori and you don't want to wait your turn and you want to hop, skip, and jump in front of everybody,
straight onto our short list.
You can do what the big homie Alan did. 125 gets you straight to the head of the line, and then after that, you do that 3 times, you get bumped down to $75 rate. Okay, so this is Hearts Alive by
Links
the band
are in the description. You do that on Patreon or PayPal or whatever.
Let's go. Full screen, full screen, full screen. Full screen.
Stop! My thing's not working.
Do a full screen.
Yeah,
I
but
want to see the whole thing.
Yeah, but I can't hear anything. And you're just yelling at me.
I can't hear you. Praise God. I'm fine. What's your problem?
Well, I can't hear anything.
You're having all the way down.
Well, why would you have done that?
You hear it now? You can hear it now?
Yeah, you shouldn't touch my buttons.
That's your damn fault. Your volume was too low.
Well,
let's be quiet and listen to the band. Bass. drummer's crazy, bro. Y'all ain't got it like that. You can't destroy your instruments to that degree. Y'all ain't rich like that. That ending was crazy. Now, I know exactly what people are going to say.
What?
Especially if they're Mastodon fans. They're going to say,
why did you do the live?
Why did you do the live version? Because, dear listener, when you do the Fast Pass option, you get to determine how...
It's your pick?
It's your pick. And not only the Fast Pass option, but so do the
Alliances.
The alliances.
Yeah.
They determine what songs we do as well.
What links we use.
So that's why.
Link.
But I think the fact that we're in a band now helps us appreciate more the instrumentation, at least to me.
Gosh.
Especially towards the
absolutely.
End. He's going
Yeah.
off on that, and then the other guy's going
And when he was doing those lyrics, and it was all like that desperate sound, but on the top of that, he was playing the guitar at the same time.
Get it. Done so.
Or it was the bass. I don't remember which one. They were playing something and singing at the same time.
Music is such an... I highly...
so much energy out. He kept putting his hand behind his back. I was like, is his back hurting? Like, what's happening?
I highly, highly, highly recommend, like, if you're like really into metal, I highly recommend picking up an instrument, or at least like writing and doing, because it just gives you a different, like, even if you're not like, you know, good at, I'm not good at it, but like just even doing it and like trying to write a song and like how hard that is, and knowing what these guys are doing, like at the, you know, like it just gives you a different appreciation for.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when, you know, like once, since the time we started the channel, I've had like a couple guitars and such, and I just like playing around with them. And I was in like a band for 2 seconds here and a band for 2 seconds there, but like a serious, now being like that, it's a serious thing, and like we've got, you know, deadlines to hit, and I've got bandmates, and there's like, and like you go to practice, and like it's a hard thing to do, man. But at the same time, it gives you a real appreciation for, you have a deeper. It was funny because I remember when we first started the channel, and I was always commenting on the lyrics, because that's where I, you know, like we never did the whole hip hop heads react to metal thing, because you didn't grow up as a hip hop head. I grew up in hip hop, like that was music for me. But at the same time, I got introduced to Korn around 2000, Woodstock 99. So I was like, well, it just didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a good thing algorithmically, but it, you know, it just didn't work, because I did have a metal background by the time that we started listening to music. But I had no background. But I hadn't played, you know, the instrument like seriously. Like, I devote hours a day to guitar now, pretty much. So now it's a little bit different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole different feel for me now. So when we first started, people were like, why are you paying so much attention to the lyrics? You know, like, what about the guitar and all this? And I think like Sarcast is the first one to complain about. But Sarcast, like, can't go a day without, like, criticizing something that I do anyway. So you would think that being in a band with him, that like, he would criticize everything that I do, but he really doesn't. Like, all his criticisms are philosophical.
Yep.
but like
figure that one out.
Yeah, but as far as like he's like, oh no, that's good, Vin, blah blah blah. You know, he's always encouraging and stuff like that. But
well, maybe you're a better musician than you are anything else.
In Sarcast's mind, well, that's pretty terrible, because like guitar is like the worst thing that I do. There's other stuff that I'm really, really, really good at, and the guitar is like the worst thing that I do. So.
Oh, you're pretty good at it. So, look at this part.
Yeah, it's not like you have an unbiased opinion. Which part? What are you talking about?
Oh, let me turn it on. Look how he keeps putting his hand on his back when he's like yelling. I'm like, right here. I'm like, is his back hurting?
Yeah.
Like when he was doing that, but like that whole part, when he was just going at it.
It's just his thing. That's what he does.
Oh, that looks so hard to do, to that energy that's coming out of him, while at the same time
that's the other
playing.
thing, is like, the song is like, goes for like 12 minutes, like, and like they're going for it, and you can tell like this is like toward the end of the show, which means they've already put out, and now they're toward the end of the show, and they're still grinding, and then that ending was just a flurry of like heaviness, and they were just going, at the end, like Sarcast has something like that at the very very end of the song. You just go off, and then Jay's doing the rhythm stuff. It sounds badass. He's like, he is my favorite non-professional riff maker. Sarcast.
There you go.
He's my favorite non-professional. He's
Shout out to you.
He's such a badass. I love him. I also probably smack shit out of him in a different like universe, a parallel universe. But I would never do that now. That's my man. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is like the epilogue of the whole Moby Dick situation. So Moby Dick is like, it's like the ultimate like Dominion man versus beast type scenario. It's this giant legendary whale and nobody can take down this whale, and the guy was like completely obsessed with taking down this whale and showing that he had dominance, and it was kind of like a Pyrrhic victory at the end. Because do you want to hear the spoiler or not?
Wait, is there like a movie of it or something?
Well, I mean, they did make, I'm pretty sure they made a movie about it, but I didn't see the movie, I read the book. So I read the book in AP English. I didn't really talk about it a lot because it wasn't that significant to me.
You can tell it's me.
It's significant to me now, though.
Is it something I should read to the kids?
It's a giant book. I doubt very highly that they're going to have the attention span for it. I think if you gave it to Dorian would read it.
Okay.
But the book is like literally like this thick. I mean, it's a massive...
You mean the kids wouldn't have the attention span, or I wouldn't?
I don't think you'd want to read that to the kids. It's a massive...
Okay.
It's a massive book.
Yeah, tell me
and
the
a lot of it is like...
Spoiler
people
for me.
think like, okay, this is too repetitive. It could have been like 70 pages shorter. But in my opinion, after reading the entire work, I don't think so.
What's the spoiler?
Well, the spoiler is that they get the whale in the end, but as the whale is going down, like he creates this vortex that's so like powerful that everybody in the boat dies, and then there's one guy that survives at the end of it. So it's one of those Pyrrhic victories where the cost of winning is worse than losing.
Yep.
So that's what they call a Pyrrhic victory. So
Oh my gosh. A parrot?
Pyrrhic, Pyrrhic. Pyrrhic. It's from Pyrrhus, the Greek mythology. But it's one of those things where winning is more costly than losing or surrendering. Right?
Yeah.
So, so they died, but their hearts were alive. Basically, is what I'm getting from it. It's a whole man versus beast situation, and they, it's pretty much right there.
They're trying to ride the whale?
The record is the name of the record is Leviathan. He's trying to hunt the whale. He's trying to kill it, and he finally does kill the whale. But you see, as the whale is going into his death throes, when it goes down, it creates this crazy vortex that takes everybody down. And everybody dies. Taken down with hearts alive, our hearts alive, lurking dark underground, descend to bottom, swim below eternally into the deep blue sea. Time and space all alone, it can be a lonely place. There it goes, opening up, I can't stand, I can't breathe. Rolled fin out, oil stripped, hold is filled. Ocean coil, water boils, he swims to the surface. Flame from mouth, smoky breeze, enter caverns of the deep. And it really is one of those challenging kind of questions of like, do you have that type of situation in your life where, what are the things...
I'm trying to think of like what that would look like.
Well, I think it happens a lot in relationships.
That was literally the only example I could come up with.
I think it happens in
relationships.
relationships.
I knew if I brought it up, something.
No, I just think in relationships people become irrational. But like, the protagonist had a real irrational relationship with this beast.
Yeah.
It just became around.
Yeah, it's like why do you need to do that?
Right, and that's one of the fascinations about the book. That's why it's like one of these timeless books. Like, what's going on in the guy's mind? And there's so many theories written about why the protagonist was so obsessed with defeating this beast, and what was the seats in Laban in which it was written to, what is the author trying to say about, so it's a pretty important work of literature in the Western world, you know what I mean? But it does speak to human nature as well. Like, people, it's like Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. Like, he had this thing where he had to beat everybody, he had to win, and he became obsessive about it, and in the process he ends up, because that isn't necessarily man mastering beast.
I think
as
that
much
still
as,
afflicts him.
as much as it is man mastering man, right? Where like so it's not a completely perfect correlation, but it does talk about that concept of wanting to defeat this sort of legendary beast so that you can be at the top.
Well, you kind of see it with LeBron. Him taking the 23, you know what I mean? So he's trying to take down the legendary beast of...
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
And he said, like, he's chasing ghosts because the actual player, Michael Jordan, is not the mythology. We talked about this in the car, right? Like, there's this whole theology, and mythology around Michael Jordan that is just not true.
Right.
And if Jordan's Bulls had to play LeBron's team right now, he'd have a very hard time. He'd have an extremely... And I don't believe that Jordan's Bulls would have beaten the Golden State Warriors.
Really?
No way. No way. Because I think that what's his face? Klay Thompson would have dragged out Scottie Pippen, and then who's gonna guard Durant or Steph? You put Jordan on Durant. Jordan wouldn't be able to stop Durant completely. Jordan couldn't even stop Magic Johnson. And Magic Johnson isn't half the athlete or the shooter that Durant was. And then you had to deal with Steph Curry. Who's going to guard Steph? So, anyway, I don't like getting into the weeds here, but the point is that that's what happens with people. It's like they do something great and amazing, and then they become legendary, and then the people in the next generation are not fighting the actual person anymore. Now you're just fighting the legend. And that's not the same thing. So, Jordan didn't have anything like that to deal with. Like, there were other people like, can you be as good as Magic Johnson, blah, blah, blah. But none of them, like, had this mythology around them that Jordan has. And part of the mythology had to do with the fact that he never lost in the finals. But he never got there. He didn't, literally, like, by the time LeBron is done with his career, Jordan will not have been able to be at the finals half as much as LeBron has.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, but anyway, like I'm getting into the weeds. But it's the same thing with like guitar, like Jimi Hendrix. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens. There could be a guy from it could be God himself that comes down and incarnates in a human form in hypostasis and plays guitar. People are still gonna say Jimi Hendrix is the greatest of all time. Like, there's nothing that can be done because there's all the mythology around.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, especially me as a guitarist, like, I'm sure he was an excellent guitarist, but like, it just gets to this point where it becomes legendary, and then you can no longer overcome that thing. So then it's like, okay, so you finally got the whale. Mashallah tabaraka, you got the whale, and everybody's dead except for one guy. So who won?
The one guy.
Right? And then one.
No, he didn't win because he doesn't have anything.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, how do you? I think the point of the story is like, there's some things like once that thing gets to that legendary status,
just let it be.
It's never gonna happen. You're never gonna win. You're never gonna beat it. So anyway, that's what I took from the movie, the book. What did you give the song?
I actually rated it pretty high. It's a 9.9 for me. I thought that they did really good.
I gave it a 9.6. I know that if I heard the studio version, I would have rated it higher because all the notes would have been a lot more clear. There are some times when the mixing was just, you just couldn't hear anything, but you had to pretty much go with the idea of what they were doing. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't like doing that, especially I loved that Neanderthal looking guy. He was like really into it. And I love that they had two singers and stuff. So it's a 9.6 for me. Really, really good song. Shout out to the big homie Alan. Thank you for your patience, my man. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.